Hey everybody, we're going live. Check, check, 1, 2. Hey, let me go focus. Hold on a second. Get my glasses. Hello, I see we have 2 people on the stream. Yay! One is mine. Okay, let me go back. I have to keep adjusting the view. Hold on. So I don't have any tracking on the scope tonight. Sometimes I have tracking on the scope, but tonight I've just doing this manually. My objective was to have 2 scopes go at each other side by side, and then 3 in a shootout, but 2 of the telescopes are not, I found out, are not appropriate to this camera. So I'm doing it with 1 telescope tonight. So I'm just going to aim the telescope around at different craters on the moon and go up a bit here. Oops. Gonna see if I can focus it a little bit better. Hold on. I'm a little bit of a distance from the screen, so just give me a second here. That looks a lot sharper. Great. Okay, we're focused now. Yay. Oh yeah, lots of detail there. Let me keep adjusting it. So, happy Earth Day, everybody. I'm Jason Higley, and I'm outside on April 22nd, the night of Earth Day. And I thought I'd come out and look at the moon and share the views. So here we are. You can see that very long crater in the middle there. That's because a meteor hit at a very oblique angle to the moon. You can see cratering, you could see a lot of terracing on and inside of the craters. You can see central peaks in the craters. The telescope I'm using is from 1978. It was made in 1978 by an American company out of Connecticut. It's called the Criterion RV-6. It's a 6-inch Newtonian telescope, and I'm just I just collimated it too today, so it's about as sharp as it can be, which is really sharp right now, apparently, and it's looking good. So let me just optically, this is one of my, if not my best telescope, even though it's smaller than a number of my other telescopes. This one, as far as the optics, really rocks. So let me just pan up on this side for a little while here. I love the details on the other on the terminator, which is the day-night line between the dark side of the moon, which is not on the other side of the moon from us, although it is dark on that side right now too. But this day-night terminator, which you see on your screen, is where the sun is rising on the moon. So if you were standing in one of those craters, it would look like sunrise. The sun would be very low to the horizon. So when it's at this phase, this is the best time to look at the moon with the telescope is when it's not full. So, I mean, it's great when it's full too, but when it's not full, you can see all these crater details because of the shadows. I'm going to move the telescope over to the other side where we don't have the terminator, and you can see everything is kind of washed out here. Let me just go over here. You see how you can still see lots of craters and details, but it doesn't show the relief that you see when I go over here. You see there's a lot of detail. So each night, a different area of the moon is highlighted by the moving of this day-night line across the moon. So if you were standing on this terminator where the sun is rising, tomorrow night the sun would be much higher, and that line will move further as the moon gets fuller and fuller. So if you stood there for 2 weeks, the day-night line would be facing the other way, and the sun would be setting. And then once the sun set, it would be nighttime for 2 weeks. So you get 2 weeks. If you stand on one spot on the moon, you'll have daytime and nighttime of almost 2 weeks. It's short of 2 weeks, but almost 2 weeks. And let's see here. Yeah, it's looking really clear. I'm pretty happy. I'm an amateur in Central Florida, just north of Orlando, and we have a lot of cloudy nights here throughout the year. So when we do get a break, a lot of amateurs will run outside and take advantage of it while they can, because it's kind of rare. And in the summer, it's extremely rare. I'm also a planet imager, and basically most Florida's astronomers give up in the summertime and take a break over the summer. So even like some of the astronomy clubs like Central Florida Astronomical Society and a few others, they won't even have meetings in the summertime because that's how cloudy it is. And you'd think the Sunshine State, it would be clear, but no, we have every night we have the afternoon showers and the clouds at night. Sometimes it'll blow off after midnight, but more often than not, it's going to be cloudy for a good part of the night. So yeah, Emmanuel, the reason I didn't put this on the motor is I've been having some issues with my clock drive for this telescope. So I'm just letting it kind of scroll through, slide through the view, and pointing it around. Now, none of the planets are, let me see, I'm going to look around here. None of the planets are easily visible tonight. They're in the morning hours, just before the sun comes up. I think Saturn rises at 3-something and Jupiter a bit later. And they don't get very high right now because they're still, relatively close to the sun. And so they won't be around in our evening skies for quite a few months. So otherwise I would show you those too. This camera is an inexpensive camera. It's called SV-105 from a Chinese company called SVBONY. It's an odd name. And they're not like the next availability on Amazon, I think, is sometime in this summer. So they don't have any in stock. There's a kind of a shortage in a lot of different electronics. If you try to buy computer GPUs and a bunch of other things these days, it's hard to get. And telescope prices have skyrocketed tremendously, and basically inflation is severe in this hobby right now. And but this camera is only $59. So if you do ever get one, it's a very cheap camera. You just plug it in right now. All I did was plug it into my USB port on a Windows 10 computer, and it detects it. I do have a moon filter on here to make it dimmer than it would be naturally, and that's because the moon is bright. As astronomy, it is the brightest object in the sky after the sun. So, and then when it's at this phase, which is approximately 75%-ish full, it's a couple days after first quarter, which looks like a half when you look at it, but it's first quarter moon. It was Tuesday. So we're only a few days after that, and already at 75% illumination. So I think next Tuesday it'll be full, and that will be, let's see, that will be a full moon on Tuesday. I'm gonna go look at move it over to the other side now, just to change it up a bit. And let's see here. So those large areas that you see up above there are called mare. These dark, if you look at these big, dark, flat areas, they are known as mare, which is the Latin for seas. And so when they named these before the telescope age, these looked like large seas to the eye, so they called them mare. And they are fairly flat. If you look at them, they're kind of relative to the rest of the surface. They're very flat and don't have a lot of craters. And the reason for that is that when large objects hit the moon to make these craters, lava welled up from inside the moon and filled the craters. And it was after the late heavy bombardment when the moon was hit by a lot of meteors. So they have much less craters than these other areas. You can see lines right now radiating away from that large crater there, and what happened is, as you could imagine, it's just like if you took a piece of dirt and threw it on the ground, things would go in every direction, or threw an egg at a sidewalk, stuff would splat away. And so in this case, rock from the moon and from the meteor, was ejected into every direction, and it's called ejecta. So there you are. You can see, even in the smaller craters, you can see peaks within them, and that's a remnant from the impact. Just the way it stacks up relative to the rest of the stuff thrown out of the crater. And okay, so let me move this over again. Okay, So I'm going to go down. I think we'll go down the center of the moon this time. Hold on. There we go. Put it right there. Okay, so it's scrolling down, and let's see. So yeah, you can see all those bright ejecta just go all over. That's a fresher crater than the rest of the ones you see, and so those lines are going in every direction. There's striations. Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna focus on that spot there a bit. Just go right down the middle there. It's funny, a bug was crawling on my screen here. I was like, oh, what's that? It's just a bug. I'm hoping for, sometimes a satellite can pass through the field of view. Sometimes birds and insects and everything in the sky, the clouds, you name it. And tonight, we're kind of lucky that we got a break. I can see that the seeing, which is the twinkling of the stars, scintillating, is, there is a good amount of that tonight, but it doesn't look bad in this view. I think because we're not at too high of a power where it's problematic. So let's see here. So you can see, like, we lose the focus on that long crater as things kind of jump around. That's the seeing. So it's water vapor in the atmosphere that's racing over us. And some nights the seeing can be very bad. Tonight's forecast for the seeing was to be, it was going to be poor to okay, but I can tell by looking over at some of the brightest stars. If you look up over your head where the atmosphere is thinnest, if the stars are twinkling a lot, then the seeing is bad. But if you look over your head at the zenith and they're not twinkling as so much, your seeing is a bit better. I'm looking over right now toward Sirius, which is toward the horizon, and it is jumping around pretty good there. So is Betelgeuse. Oops, I'm sorry. I was looking over there, and I should have been looking at the screen here. So Betelgeuse did not blow, which we're happy that didn't happen. It turns out it's a bit about 200 light years closer than we thought it was. So like 540 light years or thereabouts away. So, people say, oh, we still, we'd be okay if it went supernova. But the thing that they don't usually think about is that there's still a chance, because we're not very certain about which way its spin axis is. So there's still a significant possibility that one of its poles is pointing toward us. And if that were true, which I'm not saying it is, but if it were, then it would be a whole different ballgame. Wouldn't be a good day on the Earth if that were true. So, yeah, look at the beauty of that crater, the details in the terracing. I mean, you can visualize just like jumping around in there and rappelling down the side with a rope, or you can go there with Elon when SpaceX finally puts some people on the moon. And NASA, I heard the Russians and the Chinese want to team up to build a base on the moon, and there's a lot of commercial interest in the moon too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens over time. Recently I picked up a very inexpensive camera to do some other astronomy experiments. So I plan to, it's even possible tonight, I plan to possibly do another stream with that camera, but looking instead at some stuff that's deeper in the sky. It's a very inexpensive camera, and it's not a dedicated astronomy camera, so it's an experiment. But it is a Sony Starvis chip that is very sensitive to light and should afford some interesting views. But it's not a cooled camera, so it's not intended for astronomy. But there are astronomy cameras made from the same chip that have fans on them to cool them down. And this one is just going to be air cooled when I hook it up. And that's just for fun, just having fun hooking it up. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to stream star clusters going by and in real time, which should be fun. And I'm looking forward to doing that experiment. Hold on, I'll be right back. I have to do something. I'll be right back. Coming to you live from Central Florida. It's Jason in his driveway in Longwood, Florida. So here we go. I'm going to put this back up here. So sometimes people image satellites going through the field of view. When the International Space Station comes through, it's very fast. If it were, which I don't believe it will be tonight, basically you'd want to just shoot the video of it. You can predict what time the International Space Station is going to pass by, and you can even predict when it's going to transit a moon from a certain location and drive there and shoot some video of it passing in front of the moon. And it looks kind of cool. And when you look at it, you think, oh, there are people on there. And it looks awesome. You can see the solar panels on it and the modules. So, yeah. So, no UFOs yet. If anybody sees a UFO when they see this video, post it in the comments, and I read the comments. So, sometimes I've had people, point out stuff that flies through, and videos I've already deleted because sometimes I do a lot of, well, not a lot. I do experimental videos sometimes, and then I delete them afterwards. So if you're a subscriber on my channel, you may catch me put something up there and then take it down, and it's fun. I am just here to have a good time. So That's it. This is not one of this. With 52 subscribers, you need 10,000 subscribers, by the way, on YouTube before you can start getting any revenue from them. So I'm a bit short of that at 52 subscribers. I that's not going to happen soon. So, but a lot of YouTubers are bailing out from YouTube anyway. It's for small YouTubers, it's not a venue that not the venue it used to be for growing. So you have to be favored, and a lot of the small YouTubers aren't favored anymore. So. Supposed to go down tonight at my location to 59 degrees here in Central Florida in April 22nd. And that's a cool night for us in April. And just to our north, next state over, last night it was 39 in Macon, Georgia. And tonight I believe it's going to be in the low 40s. It might be 40 up there tonight. So and north of there, it's like really cold up north. So we're having a late cold spell in America, United States, and that means good weather for me. 59 degrees, and less mosquitoes will try to carry me away here. So it gets kind of hard to do astronomy in the summer, if the clouds do break up, it's just like so hot, and you have to be covered up because the mosquitoes will drain everything out of you if you don't put a deep woods DEET on you and a couple gallons. I've the last few weeks I'm like using 3 different DEET bottles depending on what I'm doing. It's like I'm getting running low on supplies here, so I gotta go pick up some more and do battle with the mosquitoes. Once you spray down, if you hear them, you just spray and they go back to their distance that they want to stay away from the DEET. But luckily, I don't have any other critters bugging me either. In my community, we literally have bears in our community, and we have coyotes on the golf course, and every night I see possums and raccoons on the cameras, and yep. So, okay. I see some questions over in the chat. Hold on a second. El Rancho de Palo, thanks. Same to you. Thanks for the info. Why don't we have so many craters on Earth? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a great question. Hold on a second. Let me roll this back up here. So the Earth's atmosphere, burns up every day. When you hear about shooting stars, that's really small little sand-sized grains of rock that are burning up in the atmosphere. And the Earth, the Earth burns things up, and Earth's atmosphere. So long before it gets down to the surface, things get destroyed, even larger ones. Now there are some meteorites that, in Arizona, this meteor crater, and that has or sometimes it used to be called Barringer Crater, and it still exists. You can visit it out there, and the Earth is going to erode it away. So erosion is one of the reasons that craters go away, and the other is the atmosphere gets rid of a lot of meteors. So let's see. El Rancho de Pablo also asked, do someone ever took picture of a meteorite crashing against the moon? Yes. So there is, you probably could find it on YouTube, and I think even a NASA website might have a page on that. But you'll see a flash of light, and they've even recorded on the moon. They've recorded flashes during a meteor shower on Earth that they can attribute to that shower. So let's say we have the Leonid meteor shower or some famous meteor shower. The moon isn't very far away, so it also gets hit by the same small rocks, and so sometimes the flashes can be seen by amateurs, and yes, they have recorded them with telescopes, and there's probably some YouTube videos of that out there. Definitely it'll come up on a Google search, I'm sure. And then let's see what else. Okay, I think I answered El Rancho de Pablo's questions there. And let's see. Okay, so let me turn this over here. Okay. So let me see if yeah, I didn't even realize that the chat was on here until I saw that. So I apologize for the delay in answering those. But now I know that it's there. I'm going to be watching for it. Okay. So let's see here. Let me. Oh, okay. I see. Thanks. I'm in California tonight. A lot of clouds. Oh yeah, yeah. It's pretty much a lot of places are. If you ever get into astronomy, or you could be already, you'll notice that it's kind of rare to get good clear runs unless you live in a dry desert area, like in the Atacama Desert in Chile. It's like one of the driest places on Earth, and they have much more cloud-free nights. But in California, you have the clouds, coming in off the ocean, and then they stack up on the Sierra Madre chain and on the mountains, and so yeah, and then of course you have the ocean water vapor too, that will cause fog and all kinds of things. So yeah, California, I'm sympathetic. You guys have clouds. Also, hold on a second. Let me move this up. So something I would say, just generally, if you get a pair of 10 by 50 binoculars and you look at the moon when it's not full, you'll be able to see some craters even in a pair of 10 by 50 binoculars. So you look at it when the moon looks like it's a half, or a quarter or a thin crescent, and you'll be able to make out some craters. And then if you ever, there are clubs, astronomy clubs out in California that you can join, and some of them have loaner scopes too. If you ever want to try to test out a small telescopes for free, a lot of clubs will have loaner scopes that people can borrow, or amateurs share views too. You can go out to dark sky sites to their meetings, and they have star parties. And of course, with COVID, it's not common right now, but we'll all be getting back into the swing of things, I think, very soon. So I'm looking forward to it. I got my shot, I should say, and I'm still going to be waiting for the incidence of it to go down. But I used to do a lot of telescope outreach in public parks, and I've shown the sky to a lot of people over the years. But ever since this happened, I remember the day, February 28th, I told my friends that I'm not going to be able to do anymore. And that was because, of the pandemic hitting. So I haven't done any outreach, public outreach since then. But this is my way here of doing public outreach is going on YouTube. So let me go back up here. I wish I could show you some other things, but with the telescope. But this camera is really only good for planets and the moon. I once did test it for looking at stars and other things, and it's just this camera is not sensitive enough. Oh yeah, you're welcome. I see that. You have a good night too. El Rancho de Pablo. Very good. So yeah, yep, I'd show other things, but it's not a good camera for them. Very good. Okay, so let's see what we're seeing here. Put it back over on the other side there. I can see that there's nobody watching on the stream at this very moment. And if you hear any commentary going forward, it's for posterity because this thing is recording. So I wish everybody a happy Earth Day out there, and going well so far. We're 40 minutes into the stream here, and the telescope's working fine. The camera's working fine. Seems like the stream is recording well, so I'm really glad with the view. I'm going to try to put on some music, and I don't know if this thing will capture. I don't think it will. If I don't think it will. Yeah. Capture the audio output here. I'm going to look at the settings on here and see if I can do that. Expand menu. Manage. I don't think I want to do that. Okay. I don't know if the crickets are registering on this microphone or not, but I think that's a good background for audio. I might just leave it like that. Let's see here. Looks like my system is not getting overwhelmed with this. So I'm guessing I can play some music in the background. So let's see how that will go. Well, that's it for this stream. I'm going to keep it at an hour, and I wish you all the best. Happy Earth Day, and I enjoyed doing this one. I am going to see if I can do another stream with a different camera tonight, and so if you get a notification for another stream tonight, you'll know what it is. It's going to be trying to do some deeper sky stuff, but I have no idea how that's going to go. So I'm going to test it first before I do the stream. And I wish you all a good night. Take care. Good night.